welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're back on GT Sport and we're back with the FIA Round 7 at Suzuka in the Group 4 GT4 cars. It's a track guide. I wanted to get this out before the race day. Obviously the race is tomorrow night, so I wanted to get this track guide out very early to give everyone an opportunity to watch it, see where to gain some time. This lap was only done, I think I spent 25 minutes in the free practice like time trial session, just to get very much a base lap in to see how the car handled. I was really impressed with this Ferrari around this track. I'm actually looking forward to using this car around here. It seems a very well balanced car, and probably a good car again to use for a track guide, because it's kind of in between every type of car. It's got a grip, although it's also got good handling, but it's not too fast on the straights. So it's a nice balanced car to get these track guides out for, and it should serve very well for the majority of cars. So the lap time was at 2 minutes 7.8. There is definitely potential to get this very close to a flat 207, maybe, and creep it into a 206. I'm looking forward to maybe getting back on tonight and trying to push this a little bit harder and try and get a bit more in the rhythm of the track. And then I'm going to try my hardest to get some practice done tomorrow as well, because I feel this track could be a very good track if I can hook it up. The only issue for me is race pace at Suzuka is not normally my strongest point. Qualifying I should be okay in, but I sometimes struggle with a bit of race pace, so it'll be interesting to see how we fare in the race. However, this track guide should help some people get them few temps that it's going to be needed just to get yourselves up the grid. Obviously, getting the lap done in these qualifying sessions for the FIA event are so important. You know, it can start you for 4 to 5 places extra up on the grid by just a few temps, because it's so competitive. So every little bit helps. So we're going to start this track guide starting from obviously the chicane. You want to get a nice clean exit on the lap that you're going to go, so getting on the power as early as you can coming out that corner to give yourself maximum speed going over the start line. Then we're going to be looking for our first major braking point, which is going to be going into turn 1 and just before the 50 board on the left. So you're going to start looking out for the boards as we go through the 200, 150, and then coming up to 100, braking in between, just fractionally before the 50. We're going to start braking. This is the point where we first put our braking inputs in, and then you're going to trail brake all the way through the corner. You notice how I don't put maximum force into that brake. It's very gentle trail braking all the way through the corner, because you want the front end to just stick to the ground and get more weight on the front to help turn in. And then you're going to slowly feed that power back, and you see 50% throttle, and so I'm confident that I can put maximum throttle in and use all the exit on the curb there to gain the speed out of the corner. Now coming into these really twisty fast section, just a brief little lift off the throttle here just enables the front end to kick in a bit to that curb, and you want to aim to hit your left hand tire just onto that curb. And then again for this corner, you're going to, as you come off the throttle very briefly, you're going to put a slight amount of brake input in. That's just going to again help hit that front end and bite it into the corner and put the weight to the front of the car, which is what you want to do through these corners. And then again for this corner, a little lift off the throttle again to help you get your left hand tire as close to that green bit of Astra as possible. You see how I really wanted to tuck it into that curve, and then that enables me again to get on the power really early. And then again for this right hand part of this corner, you want to get off the throttle, and then a slight amount of trail braking goes in to just hold your car as tight to this curb as you possibly can. You can see how I tried to keep it as close to that curb all the way through the corner, and then on the power, and you can see I'm already turning in for this corner. You can see on that right arrow, and we're going to aim to hit that apex as perfectly as we can. We do not lift off the throttle in these Group 4 cars. You do not need to lift off. If you get that done perfectly, you can take that flat out. If you don't feel confident in doing that, just a brief little, half a second of lift off the throttle and straight back down will get you in through that corner perfectly. And then for this corner, braking just before the 50 board on the left hand side, you see the braking inputs going there, and we're reducing that throttle. And this is where we got to be careful in these FIA events. Then bollards are there, so you need to be very precise in where you put the car. So aiming for that green bit of Astro on your right hand tyre, and again braking very early for the second part of this right hand corner. You see we're already braking at this point, and I think I actually braked a fraction too late even braking that early. And again, you want to hit your right hand tyre on that green bit of Astro and get it as close to that bollard as possible, but just give it respect. You don't want to wipe yourself out of these races. So then working your way onto the Astro there, you see using as much of the track as you can. A lot of grip in these Group 4 cars, so you can actually get away with putting the throttle down really early. And then coming to the next braking zone, just as the curb ends on that right hand side, the red and white curb ends on the right hand side, you're pretty much getting on the brakes at that point. and hard on the brakes. I actually braked a little bit too late again. You're going to watch the compromised exit I get from the entry and exit I get from this corner. You can see I would have preferred to have been very close to that curb on the inside with my left tyre, but because of the angle we took, we had to go really wide. But this enables me to get on the power really aggressively and really get some speed out of the corner. So we probably only lost a tenth or so out on that corner, nothing massive. And then working our way into the next braking point, you're going to be looking out for the tarmac I always use for pretty much any car. For the Group 4 car, we're going to brake just before this grey tarmac. With like the Super GTs, we ended up braking pretty much on it or a bit after. You can see there, just before the silver bit of the grey bit of tarmac on the right hand side, we're going to brake there just before it, nice and early, down into third gear, and try and skim your left hand tyre on the curb on the entry, and then on the throttle again to use the width of the track. And then what I like to do for this corner is brake very early. You see I'm already on the brakes at this point because I'm lifting off the throttle, because I want to get it into this apex, and what that enables you to then do is get on the power very early. I had to give it a little dab of off throttle, but then I'm back on it now, and we're not going to lift from this point. Flat on the throttle and working your way all the way downhill, and that really does enable you to get really strong exits from that corner, and that's going to help you defend in a race situation, because if you're getting a strong exit from that corner, it's really going to help you out. You can see there, brake balance all the way to 5 for this really fast left hand corner. I wanted to get as much rotation in as possible. I think I can still do this in 6th gear. You can see there, we're coming off throttle, we don't brake, we just come off the throttle, and I downshift to 5th gear here just to try and make sure I get through the corner, because I knew I was on an okay lap. I think if I get that sorted, a bit more practice, we can just take that pretty much flat out in 6th. And then into our next braking point, we're going to brake in between the 150 and the 100, maybe a bit closer to the 150, as you can see there, and trail braking as we go into the apex of the corner. And again, this corner, you've got to be careful of them bollards. You can see you want to be as close to them as possible, because you want to take as much time out of this chicane as possible. And again, on the second part, you've got to just get as close to that the bollard as possible using the green Astro, and then that will enable you to get on the throttle earlier, because you reduce the angle through the corner. So then we're flat on the throttle and stay to the right hand side of the track for qualifying. You know, the shortest distance to the finishing line is really important, so stay to that right hand side and go over the line there at 2 minutes 7.8. And I think even with the mistakes off, we can get down to a 2:07.4, and then once we're a bit faster at taking some of these corners like that 130R, I think we'll be getting this very close to a 2:07 dead, and maybe creeping it into a 2:06. It'll be interesting to see how we can get this car handling it. It really does feel nice. Anyway, as usual, I'm going to let the lap play at full speed from the chase camera, so anyone using a controller that uses that view, you can see it played at full speed on that camera angle now. So anyway, hope this video has helped you out. Hope you enjoyed the next round of the FIA. I'm looking forward to it in the Ferrari. I think it's a suited car for that track, and hopefully we can pick up some good points, and hopefully this guide can help some of you just qualify maybe a few places higher up on the grid. So be sure to let me know in the comments if this has helped you out, if it helped you out in the actual race after tomorrow. It'd be great to hear that. Anyway, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, make sure you click that subscription button and the notification button so you don't miss any future videos. I am trying to get multiple uploads out every day at the moment. It's not going to be every single day, but at the moment I've got a bit of time to do 2 uploads a day, so we're trying to do that at the moment. Anyway, thanks again for watching, everyone.